Good morning, good morning, good morning. This your boy Daniel Lionsden Evans, and I'm coming to you live and direct from the Lions Den. Uh, it is a great morning. We are exactly 1 week away from Christmas, and I hope you all are having a great holiday season in spite of everything that's going on with the COVID. I pray that you all are actually enjoying this time and being able to, just kind of hone in on family and things like that. And I just pray that you all are having a great holiday season. So as promised, this is another video, Credit Repair Chronicles, Part 4. Welcome to you all who are on here right now. Miss Ashley Johnson, I see you. Miss Samantha Smith, I see you. And whoever else is out there right now watching it or going to be watching it soon, I just say good morning to you all, and I pray that you all have a blessed day. What I want to do is just give you some motivation this morning so you can get on with your day. I know you all have a lot going on with this holiday season, so I won't hold you long. So, coming live and direct with my twin brother here. Hold on. This is my twin brother here. Twin brother Mufasa from the Lion King. This is my boy here. But yeah, got you all here this morning for a reason, and it's just to simply motivate you all so you can have some motivation for the day. I know you all got a lot of motivation already from all the videos you see, all the live feeds and everything, but just want to give you my little 2 cents, and I'm going to let you all go so I can get started on my day. So we're going to talk about this morning New Year's resolution versus new life practices. Everybody knows at the end of the year we all have a tradition, or we have a tendency to go into a self-reflection of the year, and then we come into a way where we want to figure out how we can have a better next year, and we come up with these New Year resolutions. And one of the things about a resolution is it normally lasts about 60 to 90 days because coming into a New Year resolution, we all have dreams and goals. But in order to make it a habit, it normally takes about 90 days for something to become a habit. But I want to just kind of go over some of the things that I've experienced in the past and why New Year's resolutions have a really very low success rate. One of the reasons why New Year's resolutions have a very low success rate is because whatever you're aspiring to do, whatever the resolution is normally a foreign thing to you, and you have to, it takes too much energy or too much for you to make it a reality or make it a habit. So sometimes it's just one of those things where it doesn't catch on because it's so foreign. And most of the resolutions are always emotion driven. Whether you want to lose 25 pounds because you had a real good holiday season and you probably gained some weight, or whether or not you want to just do something out of the norm and make it a resolution, it has a very low success rate because of the fact that it's a little bit foreign. So instead of making New Year's resolutions that does not work, you're going to lose that same 25 pounds for the next 25 years. You're going to lose it, gain it back because it hasn't become a way of life. It hasn't become a new life practice. When you look at your life in terms of resolutions versus new life practices, the new life practices have a higher success rate because, one, you're going to write it down and you're going to hold yourself accountable, and it's not going to be something foreign. You have to understand that you have to transition yourself into these type of life practices. You have to be able to start and gradually change into something that you're going to be consistent and become a new norm for you. And when I say that, I'm talking about everything. I mean, we are talking about credit, understand, but in order for me to get to the point about new life practices doing with your credit, we have to tackle some of the smaller things in your life. Now, it has been proven over studies, over time, that you are 90% more likely to achieve your goals when you write them down. I have had this success in my life when I write down my goals and when I see them every day in my vision board. I am 90% more likely to accomplish everything on my board because I'm writing it down. If you don't write it down, it's only a dream. It's not a vision. It's not a goal until you write it down. That way you can see it every day. You're able to start changing your lifestyle to accommodate what you're trying to do, and it becomes more successful because you are actually doing it every day, and it's not a foreign thing, but it's something that you just, one small thing you change. If you want to lose weight, I've been on a weight loss journey for quite some time. If you want to lose weight, you can't just stop eating sugar cold turkey and think that you're going to be successful. You have to wean yourself off of it a little bit at a time, and everybody knows that sugar is a natural part. It should be a natural part of your diet, so you can't completely cut it out altogether. So you have to know how to wing it and know how to you got to know how to make it just limit yourself until you're able to sustain whatever you're doing. If you're going to be doing a water thing, you can't just drink a gallon of water a day and think that you're going to stick with it. You have to go from a cup to 2 cups to 10 cups to whatever until you get to that gallon. So it has to be something that you implement a little bit at a time. Trying to do something cold turkey, trying to do something all at once will almost always guarantee that you're not going to make it because of it's a drastic foreign thing, and it's not something that's done a little bit at a time. So writing things down, making it clear. The Bible says that without vision, people perish. So you have to have a vision for your own life first. Visualize yourself how you want your life to look. Meditate, however you got to get it done. But when you see yourself mentally doing what you're trying to do, that's when it becomes a reality, because everything starts inside the mind first. And when you start it inside the mind first, you're able to manifest it because you start speaking it and you start practicing that you're doing it. And I remember when I was playing football, my coaches always tell us that practice makes perfect. And then when I got to the military, I was discovered that practice does not make perfect, because you can practice a thing wrong 100 times and never get it right. So what he told us was that perfect practice makes perfect. It takes about 90 days for something to become a habit. So if you're doing something and constantly doing it and it's not being done right, it's going to end up being a bad habit. But if you're practicing it perfectly and you're visualizing yourself doing it, all the successful people in the world right now, they have 2 things in common. One, they read books and they read literature that's concerning their goal and their mission. 2, they visualize themselves. They visualize themselves doing whatever they do to perfection. One of my childhood heroes, if y'all know me from back in the day, one of my childhood heroes was Emmett Smith. And I watched Emmett Smith and tried to imitate Emmett Smith, tried to emulate Emmett Smith on everything when I played football. And I remember listening to Emmett Smith on one of his interviews. One of the weird things that he used to do is he used to be in the backfield before they snapped the ball, and he used to close his eyes, and he used to visualize the defense. And in his mind, when the ball snapped, he know exactly where the defense is going to go, where the linebackers are going to go. So in essence, he was able to play visualize the play before it happened in his mind. And when they snapped the ball, he did exactly what he did inside his mind in real time. And that's how he was able to be successful. So much to the fact that he has admitted that there have been several times that he has ran a play with his eyes closed, ran to the line of scrimmage with his eyes closed to see if he can predict the movement of the defense, and have been very successful. If you watch Michael Jordan film, you will see at certain parts of his career when he was at the free throw line, he would take shots with his eyes closed, because that man has studied his craft to the fact where he can do this in his sleep. That's how you're able to hone in on the things in your life when you can visualize those things with your eyes closed, and when reality sets in, you're actually doing it. And it's not a struggle because you've been doing it all day, every day in your mind, when you're daydreaming, when you're sleeping, when you're meditating. So it becomes natural, and whatever you're trying to accomplish becomes real because it's not foreign to you. So the topic of this conversation is make things a reality by doing them and by practicing them in your mind to perfection, so that when you write it down, when you can visualize it, it becomes the new norm, and you're not struggling with a New Year's resolution for 30 days and you quit, or 60 days and you quit because you like, man, I got to stop eating sugar cold turkey. My body is craving sugar. I've tried that several times and understood that my body craved the sugar that I was depriving it of, and I had to end up going back to it. But if you just understand the process, if you understand how your body processes certain things, if you understand how things transpire in your life, then you don't have to deprive yourself of it if you know how to handle it. And I'm going to make an example because so you all can understand what I'm saying. So when I do a weight training or a weight loss training, I'm thinking about my diet and things like that. I compare it to that of a bank. If I have $1,000 in the bank, I can go get $1,000 out of the bank, right? If I have $1,000 in the bank and I try to get $1,500 out of the bank, then my account is going to be what? $500 in the negative. That means, and I would relate that to calories. If I have 1,000 calories and I burn 1,500, then I'm going to have a $500 loss, which equals a weight loss of about 500 calories. So the point of it is this: if you can pay for it, you can get it, right? So when I'm going through my weight loss in my diet, I only eat what I can pay for. Meaning that if something I'm eating is 1,000 calories, but I'm in a gym burning 2,000, then I can afford that, whatever that is, whether it's sugar or not. So understand that you have to know how things work. So I tied that in so I can say about credit. I know that I can afford a open line of credit based off me knowing how credit works. I don't get a credit card unless I know that I can afford the credit card and know how it's going to affect my credit, whether it's going to drop my points or whether it's going to raise my points. Missing a payment on my credit card can drop my points. So understanding how things work. And if I make a bad decision, to get something that I can't afford or that I can't take care of, then I know how credit works to take care of that situation. So that's the point of this, is knowing how things work. When you're dealing with your life and you're uncomfortable in your life, you have two choices. How many? Two. You can complain about it or you can change. We already know that 2020 has been what it has been since March or February, whenever all this whole corona thing started, right? So at this point in the game, we already know what we're going to get out of 2020. So your mind should be focused on how can I make 2021 better. So all the things that I had in 20 that I didn't like about it, I can complain about it and keep saying the same old, this is this and that is that for 2020. Or I can change and go into 2021 with a different perspective. That's the only two choices you have. So whether or not you didn't have the credit score that you wanted in 2020, whether or not you didn't have the car that you wanted in 2020, whether or not you didn't have the house that you wanted in 2020, you have two choices for 2021. You can complain about it or you can change. That's it. Because complaining about it means that nothing's happening. You're going to continue in the situation you're in right now, but when you start making a decision to change your story, then you can have a different narrative for 2021, and you can say that because I made this decision, or because I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, I was able to make some lifestyle changes and get some new life practices instead of some New Year's resolutions, because we know resolutions are going to burn out. You know what I'm saying? You get on a treadmill and try to run on a treadmill for 12 months, you're going to eventually get tired. But if you start walking every day, come on now, you start walking every day, increase your time by 10 minutes every day. By the end of the year, you'll be able to go to that full sprint because you done started walking. They always tell a baby, you got to crawl before you can walk. Well, you got to scoot before you can crawl, and you got to crawl before you can walk. You got to walk before you can run. So we are in the crawling stages right now to 2021. If you've been running through 2020 all this time and you know that things ain't working out, then it's my time to start crawling your way into a new year, and you may have to start pulling back some things. You got to make some decisions. One of the sad realities of life and people doing things is they do the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And we already know what the definition of insanity is. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So I'm not calling anybody crazy. I'm just saying that we live in an insane routines when we continue to do things thinking we're going to get a different result. So I always like to reference football. So if I know that I'm trying to score a touchdown and I'm having some difficulties, my team ain't doing right, and we just not able, but I'm in the red zone, and I know I can kick a field goal, because 2 field goals equals 1 touchdown. Sometimes you got to pull back. You wanted to get a house in 2020, didn't work out. All right, well, let's go ahead and work on some things, kick the field goal, get our credit right, and then in 2021, when we get back in the red zone again, then we can go ahead and score that touchdown. So we got to understand where we are in our life, understand what season we in, understand what position we in, and instead of complaining about things not going your way, instead of complaining about things that you want to have and can't, then we have to make that decision to change. And when we change, we can start these new life practices. And when I say new life practices, I mean learning how to spend your credit cards the right way. We don't want to go out this Christmas and just blow our whole budget on Christmas gifts, knowing that 2021 is uncertain with the economy. It doesn't make sense to go and get in a bunch of debt not knowing what the financial status is going to be for the next year. So that's one of the things you can do to change some of the things in your life, is not maxing out your credit cards. Only use 25% that you need and start making this ball roll in a different direction, because we have been doing the same thing wrong all these years. And I'll be the first one to say that when I was growing up, my father and my mother did not teach me anything about credit. My daddy told me that if you can't afford it, you don't need it. And I can understand how that can be a very important thing in a black community or in an urban community when you're living from check to check. Understand that. But in the world of credit, if you don't owe anybody, you have no credibility. So you have to have some type of credit so that you can establish yourself as as an on-time paid customer and things like that, because they talk to each other about your history of your payment, and that's what credit comes from. So you have to understand that you got to start changing some things. So how you spend your credit card is a thing that you can change for 2021. How you pay your bills is a thing you can change for 2021. One of the things that I had of epiphany was in this 2020 was never get caught slipping. When the pandemic happened, that was a time for you to really look at how prepared or how unprepared you was. So now, one of the things that I like to do is I like to attempt to pay my bills 3 to 4 months ahead, so that I'm not struggling every month to try to make this payment. I got it paid up a couple of months ahead. If you got some extra cash, start doing that in this next year. Start paying some of these bills a couple of months ahead so that you're always ahead instead of trying to play catch up. That's a small thing that you can do, but it makes a huge difference if you don't know what the economy is going to do. And with your job situation, you won't have to worry about using your whole check to catch up when we got things going on. Changing is a self-reflection of what kind of life you want. Like I said before, to live and the sacrifices that you want to make to get it done. We already know the cost of what it's going to take to live the lifestyle you want to live. But for every cost, I use the word sacrifices so people can understand that you might have to give up something. But in the professional world, we don't use the word sacrifice. We use the word investments, because everything that you do in your life that's going to affect your life is not a sacrifice, because you're not losing anything. You're actually investing into your future. So when you look at credit and say, I can't afford it, or I got to sacrifice my kids' Xbox, it's not a sacrifice. You investing into your future. With whatever it costs to get your credit right, you investing into your future. And when you invest into your future, any business person knows that when you invest in something, you expect a what? A return out of it. So when you invest into your credit, you're expecting a return off your credit. So I'm able to talk to people on the phone who have said that because I have invested in getting my credit done, I'm able to drive the car of my dreams. I'm able to live in the house of my dream because I made an investment in my credit. And when you look at it as an investment instead of a sacrifice, it makes more sense mentally, because you're not giving up something to get something. If the investment is not worth if the cost is not worth the investment, most people won't do it. But what is it worth to you? And this is a personal self-reflection thing. What is it worth to you to be able to stop paying rent for $1,500 and to be able to pay a mortgage for $1,200? How much is that worth to you? How much is it worth to you to get a car with zero down, with no references on your paperwork, versus having to go through 15 different people to get you approved? How much is it worth to you to have people competing for your business versus you begging them for a deal? How much is that worth to you? How much is it worth to be able to go to any bank of your choice and get you some money just because you need it for a rainy day? A lot of people live in a world of not being able to can do that. And I understand the frustration when you constantly getting denied, when you constantly being told no, and you have to constantly jump through hoops just to get something that simple. But how much is it worth to be able to have people competing for your business versus you begging for their help? You can't put a price tag on that kind of stuff. And I'm saying this so you can understand that credit repair is a investment into your future, into your family. And if you look at it any other way, then it's always going to be something more important. Well, I can't do it right now because I just got to do this. Or I can't do it right now because I got to take care of Christmas. Or I got to take care of birthday. Or I got to take care of this or that. It's never going to be the right time. Never going to be the right time. But when you say, let me invest into my future, let me invest into my credit so that I can live the life that I want to live later on, so I can make these changes and make these decisions now, that's when you understand that this is more than just a overnight process. Anything that's worth having is worth waiting for, and is worth investing the right kind of money into to get it done. And I told you my story on the last video, how what I've been denied, you know what I'm saying, a whole bunch of times. And I'm in the right season right now when I can enjoy some of this. But it didn't happen overnight, and I understood the process. But the most important thing was I made the proper investments into my credit so that I can live the lifestyle and be able to have that ability to go to a bank, to be able to go to a car lot, to be able to go get this. And when I have to be told no, but I have to have a whole bunch of folks in my paperwork where if something happens, I can't pay it, they're going to be calling a bunch of folks. If I miss a payment, nobody going to know but me in the bank. I ain't got to be getting a bunch of phone calls now. Have my mama calling me, Daniel, these folks calling me about this bill. What's going on? Is everything all right? Now I got to go through a whole story about this and why, and I ain't got time for all of that. So, understand that right now, while we still in 2020, is the best time to start preparing for 2021. We are at the dead end of the year. We are a week away from Christmas, and we 2 weeks away from the new year, and that's it. We're going to be into a whole nother season. And right now, if you have any wits about yourself, I want to encourage you this morning to take some time and reflect over 2020. We don't want to go into the new year with a New Year's resolution, because we already discussed how resolutions fail. Start changing small things in your life now. Don't do everything cold turkey. Don't quit everything cold turkey. But start implementing new life changes, new life practices in your life right now. December the 18th, 2020 starts now for the new year. So start making changes right now. You got a 2 week head start on everybody else in the world. We have the same 2 weeks. 2 weeks head start on 2021. Start changing small things in your life, spending habits, credit card usage, how you pay your bills, is paying them early instead of paying them on time. Because if you early, you on time. If you on time, you late. And I will explain that why. This is why if you're on time, you late. With the computer systems and with the mailing systems being delayed right now, if your bill due on December 18th and you make a payment today, let's say it takes 48 hours to process. Now you 2 days late. And that's going to reflect on your credit. I'm telling you this, family, because I love you and I want y'all to understand how you can change some of the narratives in your life. If you pay it on the 15th, if it takes 48 hours to process, then guess what? It's on time for the 18th. That's how you can avoid some of these late payments when you know I paid it on time. You're on the phone arguing with these people for 45 minutes about you paid your payment on time, but it's reflecting the late payment, because what you fail to realize is the system might have been down, or it might have had a glitch, or it might have been something that happened and is not going through. It processes late. I make payments on stuff all the time, and I don't see it reflect my bank until a week later, and I'm mad because I didn't prepare for the being lateness. So I done something with my money, and because it ain't there, I'm like, well, I know I paid it because the system is delayed. So understand that paying it early is paying it on time. Paying it on time could possibly result in you paying it late. That's how you can avoid that. So change the way you think, a little bit at a time. You don't have to do everything in one day, but just every one thought a day or one habit a day, change it. You got 2 weeks head start, and then by the time you get to the end of January, it has been a whole month and a half. You've been doing something, practicing it, and all of a sudden now it's not foreign, because you have conditioned your body, you have conditioned your life, you have conditioned your mind to do it the right way, and then all of a sudden you're thinking that, oh, this is easy, and you're trying to tell somebody else how to do it, and they still thinking that it's struggle, and you influencing somebody one day at a time, one decision at a time, and you can go into the new year with a whole new outlook on life, a whole new life practice, a whole new energy, and you're not still complaining about 2020. You actually thanking God for 2020, because if it wasn't for 2020, some people would be still in a rut because they, been giving out all this extra money and things like that. Yeah, we lost a lot of people, but understand that when we lose people, we gain angels in heaven, and God can take care of them better than we can on this world. And if we still here fighting, then they're the lucky ones, and we're still stuck here. So thank God for everything He has done, because guarantee you, He has a plan, a purpose for everything in your life. We're not just around here walking around aimless and pointless. We're not just walking around for nothing. We have a purpose in our life, and your purpose is to find out what it is and make good on it before God take you, because your day could be coming soon. We don't know. My day could be coming soon. I don't know. So we have to keep going every day, one day at a time. But you want to start making some decisions now instead of later. Don't wait until you need a loan to start working on the credit. That doesn't make sense. The time for the prepare for war is during the time of peace. So if you got peace right now in your life, go ahead and start preparing for when it gets rough. If you got a surplus right now, save up some surplus for a time of famine. If you got famine right now, start doing some of the things that's going to help you become when you get a surplus. Whatever you sow into the ground, you got to reap it. So whatever right now, whatever season you in, if you in a sowing season, then sow the right seeds. If you in a reaping season, then reap your harvest. But make sure you don't reap the whole harvest, because if you take everything out the ground, you ain't gonna have nothing for the next season. So leave something in the ground for the next season. Continue doing what you're doing. Get better and bigger every day. I really encourage you all today that if you have any kind of thought about your life in the future, take those minutes and those moments. Nicole, how you doing this morning? Take those minutes and those moments to reflect on where you are right now. And if you're not where you need to be, it's nobody's fault but your own, because every man, every woman has the exact same 24 hours in a day to get what he needs to get done. This is how I'm spending some of my time in a day, is to encourage you all, so you all know that I'm pulling for you all. I see you all. I feel your energy. If y'all have any questions or any comments, please type them in there, and I can definitely respond to you. If you excited about this new year coming up, give me a thumbs up. But direct all your questions in my inbox. If you're ready to get started with your credit repair journey, then I'm your guy. I can definitely help you get to the promised land. I don't do this all by myself. I have a staff, a team full of people that actually works in more organization, and I pray for everybody out there when we doing this. So just continue to encourage us. We'll continue to be transparent as we can with you all. If y'all have any questions, I would definitely like to hear them. Any comments, I would love to hear them. But this your boy, Daniel Lyons and Evans. I hope y'all had a great time with me this morning. Like I say, I want to try to be brief as I can, because it's about to be 10 o'clock in about, I got 25, 26 minutes, and then I'll be ready to get back on my routine. But I just wanted to just put that in your spirit today, that New Year's resolutions versus new life practices. I'm just going to recap everything. Resolutions going to last about 60 to 90 days, and then it's over with. But in order to make something a habit, it takes about 90 days. Changing life becomes your new normal when you're planning and writing things down. Write your goals down so you can see them every day, and you hold yourself accountable to those things whenever you see them every day. I have gotten a lot of things done because I've been able to write them down, and I've been able to achieve those goals. So you got 2 C's. When you have things going on that you don't like in your life, you can complain about it or you can change it. Let's stop complaining about our lives, and let's start making some life changes to get it done. This your boy, Daniel Lyons and Evans. I'll see you soon. God bless you. Have a blessed day. Happy holidays. We'll see you soon. Good morning, Daniel Lyons and Evans, and I'm coming to you live and direct from the Lion's Den. It is a great morning. We are exactly 1 week away from Christmas, and I hope you all are having a great holiday season.